So, hello everybody. I'm Sergis Bartaguer from Progetone project. Let me share this screen. So, Progetone is an European funded project developing new solutions for to increase the energy efficiency in the housing sector and the seismic safety. So we continue with our webinar cycle today with a debate around the pioneers' role of the public sector to promote holistic drip renovation. So we have three different experts from the public sector that will present and discuss about different topics, strategies, and approaches to promote this renovation. So we have with us Marco Corradi, President of Reggio Emilia Public Housing Agency in Italy. We have Thomas Perutka, Senior Project Developer Manager at the Energy Agency of Lin region in the Czech Republic, together with Jan Vidomus from the same agency, and Andoni Hidalgo, which is Project Manager at OpenGela project from the Basque Country. So with no more delay, I would let the floor to Marco Corradi. So you can unmute yourself. Yeah, great.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. Good afternoon. I present myself. I am Marco Corradi, like he said, President of ACER Reggio Emilia. ACER Reggio Emilia is a social housing public company in Reggio Emilia, is a province in Emilia-Romagna region, in the north of Italy. We are very interested in this project, in Project One, because we manage over 5,200 social housing apartment in over 500 buildings, mixed with other people, private owner of apartment. In social housing sector, in particular public, we have 53% of families that are very poor because the income are maximum 7,500 euros for families in the year. Another part of people, or other people, are 35% of the people, our people in social housing sector, not exceed 70,000 euro per year. This is a very problem because when the overall cost of the house, rent, condominium, our rent is very, very low. Value rent is 120 euros per month. Like I said, when the cost of house, rent, condominium, energy, maintenance exceed 50% of the family's income, the apartment is considered unsustainable. This is a problem that that are in social housing sector, but in general in thousand family and in rent or in property. In every situation, our people is very poor and unsustainable means that the people are not resource sufficient to live. Even before the rise in energy prices, the overall cost of housing was a critical issue for many families for this reason. Today, the problem is very, very high because in last month, the cost of energy rising a lot in continuum. some segment of population living in condition of job insecurity aggravated during the pandemic situation. The elderly people and lonely people are showing great difficulties in supporting heating costs, increasing the phenomenon of energy poverty. Over the last 20 years, Aceh Reggio Emilia, together the municipality, because we manage apartment of municipality, Aceh Reggio Emilia has worked to implement extensive energy requalification programs aimed at containing costs, which in most cases has led to reduction in consumption by up to 50%, with the double advantage of bringing social housing back within the parameter of sustainability and leave to families the availability of greater economic resource. We obtained this goal about change window and put envelope in particularly. Today is insufficient with the high cost. For this reason, it needs to have a jump in rehabilitation to have a zero cost of energy and self-consumption, self-production and self-consumption energy. In fact, the energy crisis, social needs, climate change are pushing the energy redevelopment in objective of building stock. In this moment, the European Commission, our state, Italian government, and the Emilia-Romagna region are promoting the use of, like I said, of low-cost renewable energy resource and encouraging the ability to self-produce and self-consume with, for example, energy communities. Energy self-produce and self-consume energy to achieve the goal of reducing CO2 emission into the atmosphere by 55% by 2030 and zero emission by 2050. The new directive is currently being approved by the European Parliament in provides for a strong acceleration of development intervention with priority to the world of social housing. The goal in discussion in this moment in the European Parliament is to refurbishment 3% of square of building body and building of social housing. These goals aimed to combating energy poverty, like I said, inequality and social needs. Recent European national resources are driving the ecological transition toward the use of renewable energy, in particularly photovoltaic and electricity. A great opportunity not for families, our families who live in public housing units, but for entire community to reduce the unsustainable live in housing public and private situation.
Thank you very much, Marco. Very interesting this situation in the Reggio Emilia. So, yeah. Who wants to continue? Maybe Thomas, you can continue with your feedback from Eslin region.
Yeah. Okay. So we were invited to this webinar just to showcase the pioneers' role in the public sector in holistic deep renovation. Just to shortly introduce us, we are the energy agency of the Zlín region, which is the eastern region of the Czech Republic with approximately 600,000 inhabitants. We, as I said, are the regional energy agency, and we are working both for the region and for the municipalities. And there are about 300 municipalities in the Zlin region. We were established and we are 100% owned by the region, and we are fully public and non-profit. And just to keep in line with the topic, we have prepared a short presentation about the use case or about the
Yeah.
best example how to, with a complex approach to the holistic deep renovation. And it's about a passive firehouse that was developed or constructed in our region. So if it is possible, could I share the screen for a while?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So can you see me now? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So
Perfect.
yeah, this project was developed within one of our many European projects that we have participated in. This one was within the Interact Europe, but this is just the presentation, not the passive house. So what was the topic? The former fire station of the Professional Fire and Rescue Service of the Zlin region was located in the already unsustainable premises owned by the town of Holešov together with volunteer firefighters. With its limited capacity and current layout, that building did not allow for the modernization necessary to ensure the ability of professional firefighters to act. So therefore, the need arose to build a new building of the fire station for the background of professional firefighters, including a modern workshop, which also serves as the garage for modern firefight equipment. The requirements and goals imposed on the new building of the fire station in terms of energy self-sufficiency were just to implement an environmentally friendly construction with low energy consumption and using renewable energy sources, and to create a quality indoor environment for the service of professional firefighters. So with the help of the Energy Agency and with the help of various resources, both from regional and national level, these requirements have been met within 13 months, and the station was built, including the necessary sports facilities and equipment. So just the location, just for you to have the idea where the Zlin region within the Czech Republic is and where this passive house is. Some technical features for those who are interested in. I will not go into the detail, just to have an idea that there were 2 natural gas boilers with 37.1 kilowatt hours installed per each, hot water tanks, 5 pieces of decentralized recuperation units, and LED technology in all rooms. What was the financing? So there were 3 sources of financing. One of them was the operational program environment that supports construction of passive buildings under priority axis 5. So, and the breakdown was from the open environment, approximately 550,000 euro. Then some part was from the Zlin region, and the great part was from the Ministry of Interior. So I would like to draw the attention of the main features that we are proud of, that it was the first building of the fire station in the passive standard in the Czech Republic, the first building ever of the public sector in the passive standard in the Zlin region, and non-renewable energy only 96 kilowatt hours per square meter, and specific annual heat demand for heating is only 11 kilowatt hours per square meter. So what is mainly the most interesting part for the project one was the challenges that we needed to face. So it was the overcoming persistent prejudices in society towards the construction of passive houses, because the most common prejudice is that the passive houses are very expensive, which is not true. And to build a passive house is not more than 10% costly than to build not a passive house. Then we need to face the challenges regarding the installation of new technologies and quality materials, which was linked to the lack of qualified designers. So there was a challenge to cope with this. Then there was a need for methodical guidance of the fire brigade personnel for the introduction of energy management, because one thing is just to build such an outstanding house, and the other one is to operate him properly. Yeah. And another challenge was actually the need to coordinate the professional designers with energy specialists, which both have a share on it, but sometimes they don't share the same view of the project implementation. Here's some example of the energy management that is provided externally to this passive house, and it is provided by us. So we just take data from them, and we provide them with the feedback how to work each installations properly and what could be improved. There is now a short video that I would accompany with a short comment, so you can watch, and I will say it's just 2 minutes. The implementation of this project is in accordance with the Energy Action Plan and the Energy Efficiency Financing Plan of the Zlin region. It is a modern building with low operating costs, built at a lower cost than similar buildings in a low energy standard. As the first building in the passive standard in the Zlin region, this fire station building has already become a model, which is important, I would say, for construction of another station in Bystrica pod Hostinem town, and has the potential to become a model for the further construction of new public sector buildings all around the region and all around the Czech Republic. Proper preparation of the project, smooth implementation of the public procurement, and the use of modern building materials, products, and structures, the use of quality and modern technologies, as well as renewable resources, are the features to be followed by any other public administration, as well as private investors. Then, the introduction and implementation of energy management of the building is very important for the proper operation of the building in a passive standard too. These implementations, analyses, and evaluations are methodically led by us, by the Energy Agency of the Zlin region. The public sector can serve as a good practice source for construction in the private sector in this way. So therefore, it is important to show the functional objects in the passive standard on various realized examples. Significant financial support from the operational program environment contributes to the implementation of such necessary projects, helps raise awareness, and thus stimulates interest in a passive construction among the general public. And just when this video is coming to its end, I'd like to draw your attention to the skylights and the solar water heaters placed on the roof of the building that create a great functional and energy synergy. And just to finish this presentation with a short excursion inside the house. So now we are in the garages, and we can see how illuminating elements the skylights are. Then again, the skylights from another perspective. Rooms where the fire brigade have a rest. Gym, which is necessary to maintain a good condition. Modern and fully equipped meeting room. Showers that utilize the hot water from solar water heaters placed on the roof. And there is even the sauna. And last but not least, the large kitchen. So that was just the presentation that should serve as an example of a pioneer's role that the public sector could have for the other sectors in energy efficiency, promotion, renewable energy sources, implementation, and deployment.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Yeah, indeed, very interesting to see that public sector sometimes they pave the way to build differently. So if this is the first passive house building renovation, so it's very interesting. Yeah, thank you. So now, Andoni Hidalgo, the floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm going to bring a slightly different perspective from my two fellow speakers, but it's been very interesting learning and hearing from their experiences. I'm going to introduce you Opengela project, which is a project that started 3 years ago, and it's funded by the Horizon 2020 program from the European Commission. Indeed, I like very much the title of this webinar, because it's not only about the pioneer's role of a public sector, but as well I like the more holistic deep renovation, because our approach is indeed addressing very much the holistic approach. We are tackling building renovation, but not only from the energy perspective, but taking a broader scope, a broad action from the environmental social elements as well. So I'm going to share with you a short presentation, some slides, and as well some video. Indeed, so let me just share my screen. Okay, first of all, as Thomas recently was saying, where we are. We are based. Can you see my screen now? Yeah.
Yeah. If you, it's not in presentation mode.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so we are based in the corner between Spain and France, the Basque region. We are an autonomous community with I mean, not very big. It's a very compact and dense territory, not more than 2.1 million inhabitants, being one of the 17 autonomous communities in Spain. Indeed, we have as well a strong network of municipalities with 3 main urban nodes, and but as I said, a very small compact territory with a high degree of population density. And the diagnosis from which we are departing is, first of all, a very old building stock, with a majority of the buildings being more than 40 years of age, which means prior than any kind of legislation was implemented or existing into regulating the thermal insulation of buildings. As well, another important feature is that a massive amount of our building stock is privately owned, and a majority of the buildings we are having is multifamily buildings, which make decision making in order to refurbish houses more and more difficult. But I presume this is a problem that many of you have in your own countries. But this high amount of privately owned houses is perhaps quite particular from our region, and as well a high amount of buildings which lack complete accessibility. Okay, now we departed in the region from a diagnosis that was made in 2012 and that was renovated in 2020, in which we assessed the living conditions of the population in the Basque region, despite being quite an economically well-developed region. We discovered that there was a relatively high amount of the population living in what we called vulnerable or very vulnerable districts. Those were a mix. This classification of vulnerable or very vulnerable was a mix of economic conditions, but as well the conditions of the building stock, the accessibility of buildings, etc., etc. And we have amount 10% of people in risk of energy poverty. This comes together with a very high problem on the demographic challenge. This is a very European problem. I can hear you. I could hear the Italian representative. Perhaps we are going to share the same kind of a problem in our both countries. But we have a high life expectancy, low fertility rate, and we are in a situation in which by 2050, more than 1/3 of the population is going to be more than 65-year-old. So this is to say, this central point that I mentioned here is that Of course, when we're talking about building renovation and we're talking about public intervention about building renovations, energy efficiency is very rarely the main trigger for building, for deciding, or for incentivizing people to renovate their houses. There are many other elements such as accessibility, many other elements such as social inclusion of of elderly population that could come first when it comes to the motivation for building refurbishment. Now, what we have done with our Benguela project, after this diagnosis, we've had as well two very strong initiatives in the region, strategic initiatives for the Agenda 2030 implementation and for the urban agenda, which was a strategy adopted in 2019. Within this framework, we started working in this Benguela project, and we opened two spaces for the public. Open Gela means room or space in Basque language. So we opened these two offices, district-based offices, in two pilot projects, one in Bilbao and another one in Eibar, in Chonta, in which we addressed more or less in each of the neighborhoods. We were addressing the 200 and something homes. Normally, there are this type of buildings that you can see here, high-rise building in Bilbao, and lower-rise buildings in the town of Eibar. Okay, so what did we do? What did we do? We opened these offices in the neighborhoods that were being regenerated in order to welcome neighbors and to address any kind of question they might have within their building renovation process. Even before a community of homeowners decides to renovate their buildings and to get integrated within the Open Gela project, they know that the office is open there in the neighborhoods. They can pop up and make any questions they have. And while the renovation process is ongoing, we have 3 people employed in each of these offices, providing technical advice and in order to coordinate the renovation project, advice on social matters, administrative advice, in legal matters as well, in financing matters. Any kind of financing pilot project that could be opened or any new possibilities, the people employed there, they have the information and they can assist neighbors straight ahead. Okay, this is to say that this project has started in only in two pilot projects, but it has become a model in which we have had many other municipalities queuing and willing to join this model. We have nowadays 17 other municipalities willing to join this project. This ensures the sustainability of the model once the EU-funded project will end, and this reinforces the key role played by the regional government. This is to say, when a municipality wants to integrate this model, they sign a memorandum of understanding with the regional government. There is an agreement in order to provide this assistance, and an office is open in the neighborhood that will be regenerated. Okay. So very quickly, the type of measures that we are proposing are non-energy, accessibility, safety, improvement of the health conditions within the apartments, and as well a combination, obviously, with energy measures. Once we decide to intervene in order to improve accessibility of a building, obviously, once the works have started, we put a maximum amount of energy efficiency measures. The average of the interventions that we're making is an improvement of at least 70% of energy performance of the buildings as compared from before. And then another key topic is the range of investments, and I will jump to financing. Here you see the type of solutions that we applied. You see, I mean, it's obviously we are putting insulation, but as well we are addressing some other kind of solutions. We had very strict lockdown within the pandemic in the region, and now we find more and more often that perhaps community of neighborhoods of neighbors which are reluctant to get into a building renovation process. If we offer these solutions, such as extension of the apartments into balconies, they are very much eager to do so. So energy efficiency, as I say, is not the main trigger, but there are many other elements to be taken into account. So what do we do with the financing? Because obviously these two neighborhoods that we are addressing are among the most vulnerable neighbors in the region. And we can see that obviously financing building renovation is one of the main obstacles because we have, high monthly quotas and not a specific offering for vulnerable citizens. We are addressing this situation in which if we see the percentage of population and on the lower end we see the per capita rent, obviously there is some point as from which the building inhabitants they can afford a standard personal loan from a bank, but there is a big amount of a population which is not addressed by these standard personal loans from banks because they just don't provide them. And therefore, this is the type of solution that from the intervention from the public administration can be provided in order to develop a solid and a robust mechanism of building renovation. This is done by a blend of loans provided by the regional government, and as well depending on the income of the communities of neighborhoods and even the individual apartment that we're talking about. This is combined with some individual loans and some specific helping schemes that can variate from the lower income level to the higher weighted income. Okay, so this translates into a system in which the building renovation campaign is made accessible to the most vulnerable neighbors. But if we have to conclude 5 key messages from what we have learned from our experience, is that first of all we have to jump from buildings to neighborhoods, especially when we have the regional government which is implicated, and they can offer a more solid and robust scheme. Secondly, we need to ensure governance. That's a key matter. Municipalities and regional governments and national authorities need to be on the same page, and there needs to be a very solid communication schemes. Thirdly, open offices in order to assist neighbors to be and to make them aware not only that this campaign of building renovation exists and of the multiple benefits that they can get if they renovate their buildings, but as well they have a very clear presence within the neighborhood of these open gala or open spaces. Okay, and then as well the communication is key. As I said, the right triggers, and as well this the empathy factor and the transparency and the trust element for neighbors is another key element that we have found across our way. I know that there will be a number of questions to be addressed later on, so I will stop here now. And I didn't have time to show you the nice video that we have, but if you go to our website opengela.eus, which is this website, you can be able to see it. Okay.
Thank you very much, Andoni. Yeah, it's very interesting, this approach of combining strategies to engage more the citizens in the renovation, to find the triggers that will move them into this kind of deep renovation, and also combining with tailor-made or customized loans for them adapted to the different incomes. So thank you very much, all of you. I have some questions because we have talked about, I have identified several, I would say, or different strategies from public sector, so it can pave the way to show how can we renovate buildings, we can engage or improve the engagement and the involvement of citizens on this renovation. We can try to fund this renovation, but at the same time, I would say that there is a big issue also from our previous experience, which is the public procurement. Sometimes the public sector has not all the facilities to implement some kind of renovations for citizens, for example, or even for the buildings that are owned by other people. So I don't know if you consider that public procurement is one of the obstacles that should be addressed as a key important obstacle? I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Just shortly, from our point of view, it is an obstacle, but which is very difficult to cope with. For us, it is always the most important thing is the price, and sometimes we deal with the problems with just the service providers and that are not able to meet their promises. So yeah, but we don't have a recipe how to get out of the situation.
Okay. Andoni, Marco.
We have had, I mean, we have had the same kind of experience. Obviously, it's in theory the kind of incentivation that can be drawn to choose a better option is colliding with the reality of public procurement legislation. There has been a lot of talk, I know, for long years within the European Union, within possible guidelines provided for green public procurement, but not a lot was done on that end. What we have found is that there are some other elements that can be integrated. For instance, when we are talking about, I mean, it's not precisely public procurement, but when we are talking about the municipality getting to a contract with the contractor in order to develop these kind of building renovations, there are ways, for instance, to promote employment within the neighborhoods. So by providing additional positive points to those companies who will work with people in the communities, within the neighborhoods, etc., etc. But I agree with you, with my fellow speaker, that this is a very, very difficult nut to crack. Yeah.
In a complete of my presentation, our holistic approach is when we refurbish the building, our goals is to resolve several problems, environmental, the problem of noises, seismic situation, and like I said, our approach in this moment is to reduce maximum the cost of building. But for the reason, for us, the housing is not only a roof, but is a community or community of people. This is a very important approach because we need to have a building very refurbishment, but we need to manage the building with the people that work together like a community. Then for us, the condominium is an energy community, for example, and the people could use together several services. For example, car for condominium, social service, etc., etc., etc. Then for us, it is very important to involve the people in our project and with the initiative to create inclusion and cohesion in the people. These are the goals that we sharing with the municipality in our work. We have a contract of work with the municipality and work integrate our service and service of public housing. In every situation, we have a problem of resource because, like I said, our rent is very, very low. then to for few reasons for refurbish our building is need have money and resource without return. Zero comeback in the finance. In this moment in Italy, we have several opportunity, national national resource. Like I said, that for strong goals, objective, zero emission and self-production and self-consumption of energy. And we have national incentives where we could find a general contractor that use their income because instead to pay tax of the state for the state, use the income to finance our project of rehabilitation. We have an opportunity. We have for each apartment we have an possibility to transfer our tax incentive. We don't have use possibility of tax incentive because our people is poor. But we have this possibility that we can transfer this possibility in general contractor, bank, municipality, service of energy that anticipates the resource for us and bring for the state the couldn't in this situation don't pay couldn't pay the tax.
Okay.
For the reason we have a big program. In this program, finance, refurbishment, seismic, anti-seismic activity, initiative, etc. In where we have 100% property, is needed to have banned. We have a public procurement rule. In condominium, this is not necessary.
Okay. Thank you very much. So just to finalize this webinar, I would say that we have seen, yes, different strategies, different obstacles that need to be addressed by the public sector, depending on the type of strategy. But for you, if you could, which would be the main changes on regulation, on the European regulation regarding the deep renovation of the residential sector? Just as a keywords, I don't know, maybe we need to improve financing, or we need to improve or give more technical knowledge to the public sector. So just as a kind of summary, which would be your requirements regarding this European regulation for the next, I don't know, the next decade, for example? It's quite a tricky question, but if you want to get some insight on that, it would be great.
I don't know if I can have some advice for the EU policy. Just I would say that from our perspective, how we are working with the people of our region, the main obstacle is that they are not informed properly, and many people are coming that just they do not know anything about energy efficiency and renewable energy sources and the efficient way of construction at all. So what we all could do is to promote more, to do awareness rising more, and just work on a daily basis and organize workshops, webinar, conferences, invite the general public, and still inform them about how they can improve the standards of living with not costly, not so much costly measures as they think, because they many times think they many times think only about their current prices of energy, and they don't think in the long-term point of view how to reduce these prices with the measures that they can implement for their own housing. So I wouldn't have an advice for the European Commission, but I would have just an advice for us to find ways how to promote more and deliver the message to the more general public than we have done so far.
Thanks, Thomas. Marco, Andoni, Jan.
To me, the keyword, I know it sounds not the most sexy word on earth, but governance. Governance. I mean, in order, obviously, communication towards the citizen is key. It's important, but in order to make this work, we will need strong legislation applied at many levels. So, and this is this to me the communication on the multiple benefits of urban regeneration, not just energy efficiency regeneration of buildings, but as well urban regeneration is key. And for that, we need to increase the mutual communication within the different levels of government and different sections of government as well. Because building regeneration, building refurbishment can be actually, for public administration, can be a cash machine if understood and if taken properly. We are talking about the creation of the economic activity, the health benefit, the health benefits, the employment opportunities, which means less subsidies from the public sources to be provided to the unemployed. So I think this is something that has been on the table for a long time, and I think we are on the good path. But I think through better governance, it could be a giant leap could be given.
Thank you, Andoni. Marco.
For us, it's this goal, like I said, is very important for the future. We haven't a return in the past. Then is needed to have a strong legislation, but with together strong help for the state, for the region, and create an industrial sector that realize more technology, more material construction, but overall in a situation where the price are normal, because in this moment we have the price of material and technology that rise very strongly. And is needed to involve the people in this goal with communication. But the people, in this moment, the people understood that the future is in rehabilitation, refurbishment, and resolve more problems that we have in the building. For example, like, I don't say another question is the problem of accessibility for the elderly people, for example. This is a very strong opportunity for the future of our population.
Thank you, Marco.
Finally,
Thomas,
from my point of view, if I can say something, I think technical knowledge is it's very important for at all levels. That's from my point of view.
Yeah, I agree on that. From my also experience, that and it links also with all what you have been saying here, communication and governance, knowledge, it's everything at the same time needs to be addressed together. Thomas,
I
I
couldn't
think
agree
that
more. We have indeed one of the things that we're doing in these open spaces is organizing training, not only from the technical point of view, because obviously technical knowledge for building is different to technical knowledge for regenerating or for refurbishing homes, but as well training to municipal architects, municipal employees, in order to how to manage all these high amount of building renovation projects that they will have to cope with.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you. Thomas, did you want to add something?
Yeah, if I may, Andoni just brought me this idea when he spoke about the governments, because what just could be the advice to the European Commission, because some 15 and 20 years ago, there was a support from the Commission just for the establishment of the energy agencies all around the European Union, and we are also the product of the program, and we have become the facilitators, and we have become a big stakeholder in our region, which is facilitating the governance on both on regional and local level, and we are just linking these levels and interlinking them. And from more projects that we have been implementing in the past, I faced some partners, again from Italy and Spain and France, that they would like to have such agencies as well, but their regions are not so much motivated to create a new. So it might be an advice for the Commission to reconsider some support for creating the such kind of independent, not non-profit agencies on regional level to facilitate the energy transition that we all just want to go for, and that we all just speak about, and then facilitate the governance again, as Andoni was speaking about it.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think that with this sentence, we can close this webinar, because it's just a very good summary of the needs of that we need to, yes, promote or to work to achieve an energy transition at the regions level. So thank you for being so interestingly presenting these insights on the subject. So just to remind for the viewers that we will have more webinars coming during next weeks, and that we have already in the YouTube channel some other webinars that you can follow. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.